wish I had known when I started motorcycling. I have been motorcycling now for exactly 1 year. 1 year since I took the MSF course, 1 year since I started riding bikes. It's been a great year. I'm going to talk a little bit about it and give you those 7 tips. So tip number 1 of things I wish I had known before I started motorcycling was how useful the MSF course actually is. The MSF course was so useful, and when I was in the class, I'm thinking, okay, this kind of seems like common sense stuff. You'd think people would know all this. Why do we have a whole class devoted to it? Because looking back, had I not taken that course, I wouldn't have known a lot of those very useful things that have helped me and probably saved me a couple of times riding in my first year. Swerving over braking, practicing very tight maneuvers, stuff like that. Things they teach you in the MSF course that are super useful. So if you are looking at getting into motorcycling, or if you've been motorcycling for maybe even a year or so and you never took the course, I highly, highly recommend you guys go and take an MSF course. You can usually find them through a local state college or Harley dealerships. They often have the MSF course programs there. So go take one of those courses if you haven't already. If nothing more, it drops my insurance by like $200 a year having taken that course. So definitely worth it just for the savings. Within a year, you'll pay for it on your insurance. Number 2 of things I wish I had known before I got into motorcycles was how expensive it is. You know, the bike is cheap. The bike is cheaper than a car payment if you're doing payments. You buy it cash outright, it's pretty cheap. That's not the expensive part of motorcycling. Fuel is cheap too, because usually you're getting 40 something miles a gallon or more. The expensive part is just gear. You get into this sport or this hobby, this lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, and you start wanting to buy and upgrade gear or buy and upgrade things for your bike. And then you're sitting online one day and you start looking at motorcycles again and you start thinking, maybe I want a second bike. And then you start looking at gear for that bike. You buy that bike, well, you got to have new gear for it. And it can just get really expensive really quick. Doing things you love to your bike, upgrading it, putting cool stuff on it, upgrading your gear, getting gear just for different types of weather, taking longer trips with the bike. It can just get expensive real quick. So that's one thing I wish I had known, was more of the expense of the motorcycle before I started. Because this really becomes an addiction. That brings me to number 3. Motorcycling, this hobby, this lifestyle, this is an addiction, pure and simple. I work in the mental health field. I know what the markers of addiction are. And you get addicted to running a motorcycle. You really do. If I don't have my motorcycle time during the week, I'm not happy. I literally get cranky. So this becomes an ultimate addiction. You start looking for every excuse you can to go riding. And it's awesome. But that's something I wish maybe I had known. Let me rephrase that. That's probably something my wife wishes she had known before I started motorcycling. That this would become an addiction and this would consume my time. And yeah, she was going to see me a whole lot less once I got the motorcycle. But hey, at least it's better than doing like crack or heroin. So, you know, as far as addictions go, it's pretty damn good. Number 4. People want to talk to you about your motorcycle, and you think, well, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I like. I like pulling up and have people looking at my bike and looking at me. Yeah, And for the guys, you all have this idea that you're going to pull up on the motorcycle and you're just going to have the babes out of like Southern Biker or Thunder Roads magazine just like walking up and wanting to sit on your bike and talk to you. All these chicks are going to dig you for having a motorcycle. No. What you're going to attract is a lot of big, old, hairy biker dudes, just like yourself. That's what you're going to attract. But once you get past the smell, all the biker guys, just like you, they're all good. And it's fun. But the problem is, when they come up and talk to you about the bike, it's not when you have time. Like, you will go somewhere just to show off your bike sometime. No one's gonna talk to you. No one. And then someday you're gonna be in a rush. You're gonna be riding the bike, but you're in a hurry because you gotta get back to work from lunch break or something. And that's when they're all gonna wanna stop and talk to you. Just random people, even some biker guys, and they're gonna be like, so tell me about your bike. How much does that cost? Is it fun to ride? What if it rains? You will get asked the most weird questions at the most inconvenient time, I swear, riding a motorcycle. Number 5, you are going to become proficient at weather reports. You are going to know more than the freaking local channel weatherman because he doesn't give a crap. He rides his fancy ass BMW to work. You want to ride your motorcycle to work, and so he doesn't care about you. He's going to get the forecast wrong and still get a bonus at the end of the year. You, if you get the forecast wrong, you're on wet roads and you could be sliding your ass down a piece of gravel. So, you are going to become proficient at weather reports. You have to, if you want to ride to work. Now, some people are like, oh, toughen up, ride in the rain. Yeah, well, do that riding to work a couple of days in a row, and it becomes just a pain in the ass. So, no. You're going to become proficient at weather reports and looking at them and looking at weather radars and saying, okay, I see this line of weather coming in. Do I have enough time to even just go out and make a 20-minute ride before it starts raining? That's how addiction plays into this. Number 6, you guys are going to outgrow your first bike. Don't get super invested in buying the ultimate first bike. That should kind of be your learning bike. You know, get something that's easy for you to handle and something you can practice and get good with before upgrading to your ultimate big bike. You guys know I've started out on the Kawasaki Vulcan S, and that is a great beginner's bike. I could not have probably handled the Chief Dark Horse as my first bike. I needed to practice and get good with some motorcycling skills before I would have been comfortable riding this motorcycle. So don't invest heavily into your first bike because you're going to outgrow it. You're going to eventually want more power, more comfort, more of something that you just can't upgrade that bike to, and you're going to have to get a new bike instead of just upgrading. Finally, guys, number 7. Yeah, okay. You are going to drop your bike. Case in point, I did. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll throw a card on the screen, link in the description, all that good crap. But you are going to be an idiot. You're going to drop your bike. And if you don't drop your bike, you're still an idiot. You're going to do stupid stuff. You're going to rev the engine too hard, taking off at a light, and drop the clutch and stall it. You're going to back it into something accidentally or get too close to something. Sometimes you're going to park, especially for new beginners, and this is why sometimes they tell you don't get a heavy bike for beginners. This is one of those reasons. You're going to back into a spot or pull into a spot, and you're going to turn the bike off, and you're going to start to get off the bike and start leaning it over to the left onto the kickstand and realize, where's the kickstand? Why is it not? And then you realize as the bike's on its way down, oh crap, I forgot to put the kickstand there. Trust me, if you do it, you only do it once. Thankfully, when I did that, it was like my first week on the Kawasaki Vulcan S. That was the only time I ever did that. And thankfully, the bike was light enough that when I did it, I was able to just lift the bike back up into position. I could not do that on this big monster. What's up, dude? So that is something to be aware of. You guys are going to do something stupid and you're going to feel like an idiot on your motorcycle, especially during those learning times in that first year. I stalled it twice trying to take off at like a stop sign and impress these chicks walking by on campus. As if the first one wasn't enough of a damage to my ego, I tried to recover and stalled it out a second time. Not this one, I did that on the Vulcan S. But still, you're going to do stupid stuff. It's just going to happen. So those are the top 7 things I wish I had known or had some idea about before I started motorcycling and before I got into this addictive lifestyle. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button down there. That lets me know you like what I'm doing and you appreciate the hard work I put into these videos. If you guys have not already, please subscribe to the channel. It's a big red button somewhere. It says subscribe on it. That's what you're looking for. Hit the bell icon next to it. That notifies you guys when I have a new video out, so you guys don't miss a thing. Comment down below. Talk to me. What are some of the things you wish you had known when you started riding a motorcycle? Is there anything I missed or anything you guys would like to add to the conversation? Don't you pull out on me there, bucko. Until next time, everybody, be careful out there. Ride safe, ride on, and I will catch you all later. Deuces!